Which JavaScript loop should you use? Performance breakdown. Imagine you're trying to get through a big pile of data as fast as possible. You want to choose the best way to loop through it. JavaScript offers several options, but which one is the fastest? Let's find out. First, the classic for loop is often the fastest. Its syntax looks like this. For let I is equal to 0, I array length, I++. It runs quickly because it uses a simple counter and doesn't create extra functions during each iteration. It also gives you full control with break and continue. If you need to process large arrays or do performance-critical tasks, this is usually your best bet. Next, there's the forEach loop. You write it like this: array, for each item is equal to. It is easier to read and write but can be a little slower. This is because it creates a new function for each item, which adds overhead. Plus, you can't use break or continue to stop or skip parts of the loop early. Use this when code clarity matters more than speed. Then the for of loop appears like this: for const item of array. It is more modern and cleaner than the traditional for loop. It performs slightly slower than the classic for loop but faster than forEach in most cases. It supports break and continue, making it flexible for iterating over arrays, strings, or other iterable objects. The for in loop looks like this: for const key an object. It is meant for objects, not arrays. When used on arrays, it can be slow because it goes over all enumerable properties, not just the array indices. It is best avoided for array iteration if you care about speed. Finally, the while and do. While loops are options. They look like this: while condition, and do, while condition. They tend to be slower than for loops in some environments. Use them when you don't know how many times you'll need to run the loop or when you want the loop to run at least once. Looking at performance, the for loop usually wins in browsers like Chrome and in Node.js environments because it has minimal overhead. Firefox shows similar results, with the for loop often being the fastest or close to it. The for in loop is generally the slowest and should be avoided for arrays. When you're working on web projects, think about what matters most. If speed is key, stick with the classic for loop. If you want cleaner code and your dataset isn't huge, forEach or for of are good choices. Remember, small differences in speed often don't matter unless you're working with very large data or real-time applications. So, if you want the best performance for looping through data in JavaScript, the traditional for loop is your best friend. It gives you speed and control. But for everyday coding, choosing a loop that makes your code easier to read can be just as important. Knowing these differences helps you pick the right tool for the job every time.